good phones. It's just that, you know, people just haven't turned their heads towards it. But if you're looking for a phone for a child or something like that, you want something budget friendly, cheap, check out the Nokia Lumia 521. Now we're on the cusp of another break right here, but after the break, we're going to talk about T-Mobile's first quarter sales, not looking bad. We're going to talk about Google Plus. They add instant replay, rewind to their Hangouts, and a mini stick max external storage now offers the optical drive. We're going to come back and talk about all of that right here on Tech Pulse. So I'm telling you, man, don't touch that dial.
ShockwaveSound.com. ShockwaveSound.com.
All right. Here we are back in the studio again. Now, before we head out, before we move on to the next story dealing with T-Mobile, I just want to show you that Nokia Lumia 521 real quick. Just to show you, I mean, this phone, it doesn't look bad, man. I just want to show you it so you can see that, you know, this is the perfect phone for that, you know, that parent, you know, that grandparent, you know, anyone that really, you know, they don't want a big fussy phone. They're just looking for something that they can use. Here it is right there. I mean, that's slick right there. That Windows phone, nice and slick. I mean, just it's $150 outright at T-Mobile, or for $30 down, $5 a month, you could own that right there. So for a child, for someone who wants to, you know, I mean, have a hip phone, you could get on the internet, Wi-Fi or 3G or using the cell service. I mean, the Windows tiles are good. The screen, as you can see, the resolution isn't bad. It's not going to show you that high-def video. But if you're not looking for all of that yet, you're not looking for something that's going to, you know, they can do everything with yet, this is definitely the phone you want to invest in for cheap, right there, on the cheap. And we bring that to you right here, the Nokia Lumia 521 at T-Mobile. So just go out and if you're looking for something like that, go out and get that, man. That's not a bad phone. You know, a lot of people might looking at, well, it's not Samsung Galaxy S. Yeah, but not everybody wants a Samsung Galaxy S4. Not everybody wants that. Not everybody wants HTC One. Not everybody wants iPhone 5. Not everybody wants the Google Note 2.0. Not everybody wants that. You know, people sometimes just want basic. And, you know, we bring a lot of high-tech stuff here on Tech Pulse, but sometimes people just want, you know, basic stuff. They just want to know that they can get a simple product, and that right there don't come more simpler than that. Now, speaking of T-Mobile, their first fiscal quarter results were out, and it showed that the company's iPhone 5 sales, because you know they have that iPhone 5 in that pre-order situation, not pre-order, in that prepaid situation, the sales hit 500,000 during 1 month of sales of the Apple's iPhone when it was available. They sold 500,000 units of that in 1 month. The carrier began officially offering iPhones in April 12th, making it the last of the big cell services to providers to get in on the Apple smartphone games, but they did, and they sold a lot just in 1 month. This marked the 7th consecutive quarter where T-Mobile saw an increase in their subscribers. Although revenue dropped year over year from about $5.03 billion to $4.68 billion, there was also a profit post for the Metro PCS merger quarter for T-Mobile, because you remember they signed that deal that gave them ownership of Metro PCS, who posted a financial gain in the first quarter. So T-Mobile saw strong sales the first day it began selling those iPhones in its stores, and the chief marketing officer, Mike Slevert, said about it. He said that we have been gangbusters for T-Mobile, making sure that we have those iPhones in. They were making sure that they were selling, and that their new prepaid deal really had a lot to do with getting those sales in the door. And one draw T-Mobile has for the new customers is that Un-carrier plan that we're talking about, because I think that's a big draw. People not having to worry about contracts. People can just finance the cost of their smartphones instead of paying the subsidized pricing. In other words, instead of paying $199 with a 2-year contract. So by the time you finish with that 2-year contract, you paid for that phone twice, 3 times. You know, you can, for a small down payment, because the iPhone 5 16 gigabyte version, you can get that for $199 down, $20 a month. That's what T-Mobile is offering that for. So you can get any kind of high-tech phone that they have. All of their phones are open. They've gotten rid of those contract plans, and they aren't bound by a 2-year contract anymore. Financing lists $20 a month for various phones, or you can pay a bigger down payment. For like the 32 gigabyte iPhone 5, you would pay $299 down and then $20 a month. So they attribute that, that to their success. And in comparison, AT&T gained because AT&T gained 296,000 subscribers during the first quarter. Verizon gained 677,000 iPhone activations, but T-Mobile said its overall subscriber base rose by almost 600,000, and the prepaid subscribers increased by over 200,000, and their postpaid subscribers, however, dropped by around 200,000 too. Postpaid meaning like the regular contract and so forth subscribers. So that was one of their reasons for getting rid and just of that plan, and just embracing this prepaid venture, because they see a need for people. Now, there was complaints that they weren't completely honest or completely transparent with the terms of the agreements, and the government stepped in and made them really tell customers what the truth is in the plan, that if they quit, they would be responsible for the full payment of the phone and so forth. They weren't really clear on that, but I mean, apart from that, I mean, they really, in my opinion, T-Mobile is really, just a lot of companies are taking strides to make sure that they are competitive, you know what I'm saying, in the cell phone market today, making sure that they're competitive, because that's what you have to do. If you're going to survive in the world of electronics, in the world of technology, you can't, just come out with average stuff. You have to be able to come out with things that are going to get people to buy your product. That's just the bottom line. You have to come up with ways that people will see that what you're doing is something that they want to be a part of. So that's what T-Mobile is doing. That's what companies like Nokia, that's what they're doing, companies like that. And they're making sure that they're coming up with these, all these different ways of getting people in the door, and coming up with these different technologies that help you to, you want to move on. You want to see what else is out there, especially if they're going to come up with things like that. Now, we're talking about Google Plus now, adding instant replay rewinds to their Hangouts on the air. You know, I mean, this is yet another feature. I'm just saying that Google is one of those companies that's proven themselves to be industry leaders. I mean, they're doing it all over the place. You know, all these stories coming out about Google, that they're adding, Google Plus is adding their instant replay, rewind to Hangouts on the air. Now, they launched this highly requested feature for Hangouts, but cautions that it may take longer to set up the online broadcast. So if you're doing instant replay on air using Google Plus, they're saying that it could take longer to set up those the online broadcast. Now, this highly requested feature, live stream users can now rewind during live broadcasts, and playback recording will be available immediately on YouTube, Google announced earlier this week. In addition to the rewind and instant replay features, Google promises higher quality video and the ability to start live broadcasts without refreshing the page that you're on. After you open up a Hangouts on-air page, the video will start playing at the scheduled time. These new features mean, according to Google, that it's going to take a little longer to set up to set everything up, to set up the online broadcast. For example, the start broadcasting button may be grayed out for a bit. They're saying it's going to be grayed out for a bit before it turns red. Nothing is nothing to worry about. They're just saying it'll gray out a bit because of this new feature before it turns red. This is just getting everything in place before you go live. Now, I mean, when Google is doing these things, time in and time out, we see Google constantly on the cusp of innovation. And right now, adding this instant replay and rewind, having it available immediately for people using live stream, that just adds another dimension to people who want to broadcast live in the Hangouts area. I mean, I'm telling you, man, Google is just on the move. So if you're a live stream user, you've been using Google Plus Hangouts, and you've been wanting to have that rewind play feature, and you're saying, man, I wish I could get this thing going, then you're right there. This thing is right there ready for you. Now, speaking of companies integrating things, Bing, which we all know is owned by Microsoft, according to a report, Bing by TechRadar, Bing has integrated Facebook likes and comments. So again, Microsoft now, working that Facebook angle, they have integrated Bing. They've integrated Bing with Facebook integration with their comments. They deepened the Facebook integration with likes and comments from the search. You know, can your Facebook friends really help your web searches? That's what people were asking with this new thing. Well, according to Microsoft, Bing users, if they so desire, can now like and comment on posts from Facebook friends that appear within the engine's social search results. Bing introduced the social search sidebar last year in hopes that Facebook posts from the user's networks of friends could enhance web searches. So, for example, if the Bing user is searching for, let's say, I don't know, let's say like the best restaurant in some town, right? There's a good chance that a Facebook friend may have checked in with that recommendation in that post. So now Bing, with that, they've deepened the integration, and the user would be able to like the post or comment to ask for the best dish, or, for example, without having to leave the search results page, they can find out more information on this. And that's what this new integration that Microsoft is saying, that's what this new integration with Bing and the Facebook likes is going to do. So if you're looking for a restaurant and you're on the search engine, you're on that page, and now this coming as Google now is now being added to Google Chrome. You know, Google Chrome is now having that search, that voice recognition, to where you can ask it things and tell it things and so